You can hear the bell over there. That's at the university. Bong, bong, bong. So it'll bang 7 times. So that's telling us that it's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. It didn't mention the part about the Tuesday. Now I'll let you hear the bonging. I really don't believe that's actually a bell. I think they've got it on a PA system of some kind. I don't know. Hey, it's a short talk at the trailer park with an old guy. Just wanted to sit down and visit with you a few. If it's 7, then I'm out of here in 25 minutes or something. I wanted to comment briefly. The president chose some guy named Vance, and I know nothing about the guy. That's Mike Labor's commentary on the issue. And so, if there's a race to be the best informed and most updated with the latest breaking news, you're on the wrong channel. The short talks in the park with an old guy is what old guys would chit chat with you, and maybe, if you have a conversation and can strike up a conversation with somebody, what would the old guys talk about? Them crooked politicians, they're at it again, or whatever. And the news of the day hardly ever seems to be, later on you think, oh, that was really great. I'm glad that happened. Well, I was glad that the president. Did you see those? There's former president, former President Trump. There was diagrams, nicely drawn, by the way, that showed that if he had not turned at the very last moment, like that, his head to his right, and I don't know if he was listening to something or noticing something, I have no idea, but if he hadn't done that, that bullet would have, instead of grazing his right ear, it would have impacted the rear of his skull right here. And who knows what the results of that would be. So the man wakes up and he realizes, you know what, in a sense, I should be dead right now. And I think he has said something to the effect. So that's good news in that if we realize that life itself is the gift, I mean, whether or not the rains come, and you should see the skies here. I mean, there is not one cloud out there. This is the time of year, schedule-wise, or historically at least, that we had what's called a rainy season. So old guys talk about the weather too, right? And if you're in another place, please do pray that the Lord would send rains upon the United States Southwest. I live in southern New Mexico. We didn't have a rainy season last year; it just kind of went away, which is very weird. And we only get like 8.5 or 9 inches total. That's complete for the year. And a big chunk of that falls kind of between, well, usually 4th of July gets rained out, between early July and kind of late August, even leaking over into September sometimes. And that rainy thing just went, adios, I'm out of here, last year. And I was hoping that it was beginning, the system was starting to start pumping, because it's a daily repetition. The same rain that falls down today evaporates up tomorrow and falls the next day or whatever. And so, if you'd be good enough to pray for water from the sky. The Lord gives gifts to his children, yes, but he feeds and he clothes and he cares for all people, actually. And so as I was thinking about the good news in terms of how I would explain it, given the current situation, it is good that the truth comes out. It is good that crooked men and women and fools are made known and hopefully removed from office. The lady who's the woman actually, who's the head of the Secret Service now, she was bragging. You know what her big brag was? That they have 30% female hires as their goal. Why? Who would care? Unless these women were just really large, violence prone, extremely tough women. Okay, that'd be great. But what we're looking for is guard dogs. We want the Praetorian Guard. We want great big, not Great Danes. What's the dog that was Cujo? I forgot. Rottweilers. We want Rottweilers. And she's bringing on poodles. At the poodle's order, by the way. Hey, that kind of worked out, didn't it? So the poodle is all of a sudden Mr. Peace and warmth and care. And let's all put down the angry rhetoric, shall we? But wait a minute. In the last months, who has it been other than Hillary and the poodle, and the big shots of the DNC, who've been dreadfully warning that this man is the end of democracy. He's an incarnation of Adolf Hitler, and other various nonsense. And MAGA is extremist. How so are they extreme? And so the idea is that if you want to really know what the Democrats are up to, just find out what they're accusing the Republicans of. They're doing that. So the good news for today is that it's a Tuesday, it's a beautiful day, and it's going to be a hot one again. It's funny, I came out yesterday and I cut the grass in front, this little patch of grass. You can't see it, but never mind that. It's not much to look at. And it was 98 or 99 degrees, and I actually felt fine out here. In the trailer, the cooler was trying to keep up, and so you're expecting it to be cool, and it wasn't. I mean, it was cooler in there, but the point being is that I get so spoiled. If you're in a perfectly refrigerated, air environment indoors during the day, 100 degrees doesn't bother you. But if you got to go out and dig a ditch with a pick and shovel, you'll know. It'll tear you up. And so the situation is that, frankly, I just didn't have anything that was burning me up and tearing me up, except to say, to the good Lord, thanks for saving this one man this time by what might be considered a divine intercession. There's people all over the world now who are commenting to the effect that they believe that perhaps Donald Trump still lives because of divine intervention. That's an interesting idea, and who knows? I'm not saying it's wrong. But it's not the same as the gospel word. The good news word is yes, he does defend his people. Yes, he does protect people, but the thing he's protecting them from, fundamentally, is himself. In other words, the word is out that the frauds and the fools can't keep their stories right. There's a huge blind spot area on that assassination tarmac or whatever you got a building next door, and you got a water tower next door, unsecured. Now it's world news that the Secret Service is that bunch of clowns and comedians that they don't secure the high area. Come on, how stupid. But anyway, the situation with us here as we kind of toil along day by day is that we're there's a sense in which I know I'm not good enough, and however that applies, it can apply at 100 different levels. But so what do we try to do? We try to be better people. We try to be good enough, and the good news says, frankly, it's hopeless. You can't be good enough, ever. Full stop. And the judge is coming, and so this sends fear, right? The good news is right in there. Right in that little meeting spot between truth, reality, judgment, and the facts about who we are. He comes in and he saves those who could not ever get it right on their own. He gives them a new start. He gives them new energy. He gives them a new want to, and it's a gift coming in from the outside. There's nothing that a Christian believer can brag of in their own life except that God has had mercy, and he came into the dark place to find people just like you and me. So as you look around, think about what the good news is. Yes, he lived, Donald lived, and that might indicate that God's love is involved. Why wouldn't it? But the impending trigger problem, the idea that if he hadn't, and this man had been hit with a mortal wound, I mean, there would be an entirely different world we're looking at. And so when we're kind of questioning whether there is any good news out there, yes, it's back in the Bible. Go back, pick it up, the 66, read it, hear it, and if you can't read, or if you don't have time, this algorithm has the Bible on it. Just hit play. You can listen to it while you're driving. Okay, I'm making this easy. But the tension that we feel in us is that it seems like this is good or evil. It's in terms of the future of the world, Oh, are we headed to a dystopian weirdo universe run by some AI psychopaths or something? I mean, or are we going to pull back and we're going to restore a human future with people eating food grown from the ground? And so there's a tension. It's like a drama, but at the bottom of it, the good news says essentially, you can't help yourself. Finally, you can't make the changes needed to become acceptable before God on your own. You can't do it, and you won't do it either. Frankly, not interested. And he steps into that, and he changes us from the indoors out, and so I'm outdoors with you. And as the new wind of God comes into his people. Remember, it was like a roaring wind in the book of Acts. Sorry about the Acts of Apostles. When that new motion comes into you, that new want to, that new ability, pick it up, run with it, because that's the new way of life. The way of life is based upon thanks to him, and to and frankly giving him all the honor in any metric you care to measure. There's no one who compares with him. He's the only true God. And these devils who are running amok down here, they know it, and they know their days are numbered. So the people that are being trapped by lies and being trapped by these horrible demonic things they think of, there's an end to that. It's coming. There's an expiration date, and God will carry it out. He's not mocked, ever. So for us, the good news works from inside, remember? So what you hear on the outside out here about what's going on in the world, remember to interpret it through the lens of him coming in, the maker of his own world, stepping into his world as one of the characters in the story, and working the answer from there. That's how he works. Man to man, woman to woman, person to person, individual to individual. He speaks life in, and what he gives in the process is the ability to live. And that's the gift, isn't it? The gift is life. And so we all should be pro-life. I mean, that'd be a little nuts if you were opposed to that. But then surely there's someone must be. Have a good day. It's a Tuesday, and don't let him get you down.